Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my Tuesday call. It's all about love and matters of the heart. This is also on Wednesday and Thursday for 15 minutes, a motivational call that's better than a glass of champagne and orange juice, my favorite. Congratulations on setting your intentions to make this an outstanding day and having us share an inspirational, educational, and entertaining message with you today. I'm Dr. Renee Michelle Gordon, and my program is called The Power of Positive Relationships. Today's topic is Love Yourself First and Find Worthiness from Within You. So when we start thinking about love, and I had sent this information to a client of mine that I hold very dear to my heart, and I sent this email to them last night. And they were going through a confusing part of their life and about love and about the worthiness and love from within. And I'm going to read part of that. I'm not going to read you, of course, their name, but I will read you part of that email. And so it starts off by saying that when we think that love originates from somewhere outside of us, we mistakenly believe that we need to wait until something happens to give us an experience of love. And by explaining that love isn't something we can actually get from anyone else. No one can give you any love you don't already have. Love comes from the inside out. Instead of looking for it or waiting for it to receive it or feel it, we learn how to choose it, to unlock our connection to it, to find that highest frequency of love and connect ourselves with it. You can't really find love anywhere else but inside of you. You can't find a relationship, but you can't find love. I want to repeat that one more time. You can find a relationship, and I'm a relationship coach, but you can't find love. Feeling love then isn't about feeling emotions. It's about cultivating your inner connection to the divine and to the ultimate field of love. So as a love and relationship coach, I can help you find that special person that'll be everlasting. But until you find the love within yourself first, which I help you do in the beginning of my programs, and it's a little bit of work, but it's intense. It's an intense look at yourself and your image of who you are, accepting who you are, and forgiving yourself. So typically, as a woman, the women that I work with, sometimes they feel that their knight in shining armor is going to be riding on a white horse that sweeps her off her feet, off to his castle where they live happily ever after. And if you're like most people, you probably buy into at least one of the common cultural myths, such as everlasting passion and everlasting love, and the eternally romantic notion of a soulmate. We tend to have this fantasy that when we meet someone, we should live happily ever after. Do you think this sets us up for disappointment? The answer is absolutely yes. So these myths are very popular and perpetuated by stories of fantasies, whether they are childhood bedtime stories or fairy tales, popular movies, or idealized romances that live in your mind. If you continue to believe in any of these myths, you are living in a falsehood. They will run your life, shape your expectations, and make you feel as if everyone else gets the fairy tale but you. And this is where I speak to a lot of my clients on matching and having congruency with your values and beliefs, which there is a huge distinction between the two words. So I'll explain that possibly later on today or on my next call. There are a number of people who still live in the illusion that the purpose of a romantic relationship is happiness. Relationships are not about happiness. They are about fulfillment, which is the blending of both positive and negative emotions and experiences. In the marriage vows, we pledge to love for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse. These vows are not one-sided, and neither should their perceptions either. So if your idea of the perfect partner is more good than bad, I suggest you stop looking now. If you aspire to the movie, there was a movie that was put out several years ago called Pretty Woman, then you need to have that reality check. If you are still hoping that Leonardo DiCaprio will save you from your sinking ship, then think again. Quit expecting a lover to be constantly sexy, turned on, available, never tired, irritable, or disinterested. Try to cling to the idea of the mythical spouse who's only loyal, supportive, and non-judgmental. The minute you start wishing for that perfect partner, you're living in a fantasy. Years ago, I was working with a very wealthy client in New York, and she had written her manifestation, and she didn't do her homework on values and beliefs first. She just wants to get to the good part. Get me a profile, get a photo, get me online. Let me just find my multimillionaire. So she had written, what she had written was exhaustive of the qualities of her ideal man on a manifestation letter. And it kind of read like this. I want to date a man. Here's how she said it. I won't date a man unless he has a minimum of $15 million. He is at least 6'4", tall, brown hair, brown and blue eyes, owns a large company, is socially prominent, and has at least one beautiful house. She wanted somebody who had 5 houses. Loves the finest in everything, is utterly devoted to pampering me, is willing to massage me every night. Now, that's not the manifestation that I tell a lot of my clients. I totally do it in a different way because the universe doesn't know the word not. But she wanted to do it her way, and she was very difficult and a stubborn client to work with. So I let her do it her own way to see what was going to happen, but I did urge her, please follow the guidelines. This went on and on. Her list was all positives for her without negatives. She had this list that no human being could ever fulfill. This man didn't exist. She was looking for the idealized person, the Hollywood version of her fantasy. But what kept attracting to her were men with no jobs or no money who wanted her to support them. So I received a call from her a few years ago. She says, Dr. Renee, is there any way you can come to Hawaii for my wedding? I finally found my man. For one reason or another, I couldn't make it. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, boy, I got to meet this guy. Sometime later, I was giving a talk, and I was at a restaurant, and I met her in Beverly Hills, and I bumped into her. So I asked her, how is married life? And she says, he turned out to be another loser. Gotta go, bye. She didn't want to talk about it because I suspect she found out that the other side of her fantasy is drawbacks because every human has both positive and negative traits. And love is embracing both sides, not expecting someone to be one-sided. So the moral of the story is replace fantasy with fulfillment. Important point. Men have their fantasies too, that she needs to look like a centerfold of Playboy, never grow old, and hanging on to that dream will only cost him love if he stays and the money, and he goes. If the money goes, he doesn't stay how he is in his position in life, she will leave. So if we live in the impossible fantasies, we will experience extreme emotional swings instead of balanced love. When fantasies fall apart, people tend to resent someone else for not making their dreams come true. Yet they set themselves up for that disappointment right from the start by denying the negatives, exaggerating the positives, and placing the other person on such a high pedestal. When you recognize that every normal person, every normal human being displays both positive and negative traits, you can say goodbye to all the pedestals and pits and start to enjoy the real joys of being in love. And you may ask, can I expect my partner to change? And there's a funny off-Broadway musical called, a long time ago, called I Love You, You Are Perfect, Now Change. Sound familiar? Have you ever thought you would you have found that perfect mate and then spent the rest of your life trying to fix him or her? Isn't that futile? If you try to fix or change somebody, they will just give you resistance. But if you honor and thank them for who they are and accept them for who they are, they will react in the opposite and give you assistance. Every human being just wants to be loved, appreciated, and acknowledged for who they are. That's why, again, when you get married and if any of you out there are single, it's very, very important to find someone who matches your values and beliefs. So I often refer to the balance of support and challenge being healthy for a relationship, and I'll explain that. The most successful relationships are ones that are balanced with equal amounts of support and challenge. We need this equilibrium of positive and negative in order to grow and evolve. It is therefore crucial to understand that we all own and display our personality traits, such as a generous and mean, or cruel, boring, and exciting. Equal quantities. Too often we expect our partner to be one-sided, only kind and considerate, but this will only lead to frustration, disappointment, and withdrawal. When your partner inevitably expresses the other side, it is wiser to ask the question, where do I have that trait, and am I judging my partner for? And how does my partner expressing that trait benefit me on my day-to-day life? As long as you answer, I do not have that trait and it doesn't benefit me, you will be caught in the instance. But as soon as you break through the limitation of that perception, you will move into the dance of elegance, which will assist you in your relationship and grow into the maturity and mutual appreciation. To some of you, Valentine's Day is a real cruel reminder of being alone, of not having a partner. What would you say to all those who dread Valentine's Day? It is one-sided. To think that a relationship will bring you happiness. Have you ever gotten something you long for? A brand new car, a brand new Mercedes, a brand new BMW, a brand new Rolls Royce, a new job, a new house, for example. And instead of being happy, you discover another set of crazies, a fresh set of challenges, unexpected problems. With that new house, maybe something's wrong with the geological, something's wrong with the plumbing, something's wrong with something. The roof leaks. You got a lemon as a car, and it's a brand new car just off the lot. So those are kind of examples. So there are also negatives into being in a relationship. One of the greatest myths of all times is I will be lonely. If I'm not involved with someone, I will be lonely. Many people, if they don't have someone to be in love with, they turn to being lonely. Have you ever had that physical closeness with someone, and even in bed with them, that you felt a huge distance between you? You're in love with a person, they're next to you, either standing next to you or in bed with you, and you feel extremely, extremely lonely, and a huge, like, Grand Canyon between you. That's that distance I was talking about between you. If you're currently single, this is an opportunity to exercise your insight and prepare for a loving connection. This is your first step, not scouting the best bars or ramming your shopping trolley or carriage into a good-looking prospect at the grocery store. When you focus on yourself first, you can walk into a relationship empowered instead of being driven by a sense of need or desperation. A soulmate is not someone who gives you what you lack, but instead is a person who you can share your life with. What would you say to those people who feel that they are missing love in their life? This is a question that people have asked me. And when you do not understand human behavior, you can miss the love that surrounds you 24/7. People show their love and appreciation in ways that reflect what is important to them. Here's an example. A father who has a high value on education will buy his child a book containing information sharing what he thinks is valuable to learn. A mother who values beauty will show her love by helping her daughter or sons become more physically appealing. When we give gifts to people, do not give what we do. We we most love and receive. So when you do not honor the form of what someone thinks is important, you can miss the depth of love that is being shown to you every day. Here's the last bit of advice I have for you. Love yourself first. This does not mean you need to build up your self-worth so you appear more attractive to your soulmate. For you to experience the affection that someone else has for you is all that you will want for all. It is wise to cherish yourself fully. This means choosing to see yourself 360 degrees with your unique expression of every character trait. When you embrace your dark and light side, your positive and negative, your supposed duality, then you are ready to experience unity. Remember, if you cannot love yourself, if you do not value yourself, if you do not want to make yourself into the love that you really, really want, how can you expect someone else to love you? So my time is about up, but I want to thank you so much for joining me today for my Love Goddess Tuesday call. This is also Wednesday and Thursday for 15 minutes. If you enjoyed this call, please be sure to tell all your friends how they too can enjoy it, either by calling 515-604-9932, and the access code is 947-473, and then the pound sign, or by listening to the recording on lovegoddess.podbean, like green bean. Again, that's lovegoddess.podbean.greenbean. Once again, this is Dr. Renee Michelle Gordon, and I want to remind you that you are perfect just the way you are, and you have greatness inside of you. Thanks so much. God bless, and bye for now.
Thank you for calling The Power of Positive Relationships. Dr. Renee Michelle Gordon can be heard live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday every week at 7:45 a.m. Pacific. You can call 515-604-9932. That's 515-604-9932. And the access code is 947-473 pound sign. Once again, that's 947-473 pound. Thank you for listening to Dr. Renee Michelle Gordon, The Power of Positive Relationships.